The Killstream is in its 10th year. I started this show with my ex-wife Nora and Janet Bloomfield in 2015. Never in my life did I think it would take me to where it has taken me to now, both good and bad. It started as a way to promote my writing and turned into my entire existence. Along the way, it has evolved, and it's had its eras and its different styles and various feuds, but one thing it's always had is me. I am the Killstream. I think most of you know I have a passion for professional wrestling. In wrestling, there's a term called living the gimmick. It's a pejorative term, not a positive one. I brought all the negative aspects you've seen me exhibit into this line of work, but over time, they were just incorporated into my online persona. The Ralphamale is a term someone came up with in 2018 as a joke, and I just ran with it. All the problems I have were simply written into the gimmick. Hard drinker? That's just the Ralphamale way. Do it on air and drink even more. Womanizer? Of course. No big deal. Write it into the story and lean into it. Criminal issues? Sure. Who cares? Fuck the police. Baby mama drama? All good. What are you, a bitch? Burnouts and vicious feuds with former friends and lovers. Fuck them. It's a nasty business and everyone is a snake anyway. Go scorched earth. Trust no bitch. You get the idea. This is not a healthy way to live life, although it has been quite entertaining. Rather than addressing shortcomings when I had many opportunities, I simply papered them over and reinvented things time and time again, including just this past week. In many ways, this has served me well and kept me in the game longer than I ever would have expected. It's also destroyed so many good things I gained along the road. Some people that I love will never return or speak to me again. Money gained and lost and gained again. A man in self-imposed exile in a nation where he doesn't even speak the language. I often look at my life and I wonder, how can it even be real? From West Memphis to Merida, this must be some kind of Truman Show thing going on. But what I really know is that it's all because of choices I have made myself along that road. Some choices end up being eternal, and that's something I never really accepted until I learned it the hard way. It turns out life is not professional wrestling, even if this business may be very similar. You just can't change the script or retcon decisions. You have to live with the mistakes you've made. Sometimes that can be almost unbearable. That doesn't mean this thing has been all bad. It hasn't. In fact, there are so many great things I've gotten to do because of this show. I've traveled the world and I've seen the Coliseum where the gladiators once battled. There are so many amazing men and women I've gotten to meet, interview, and in some cases even befriend. There are so many people who care about me that it actually astonishes me daily. I often get messages from people who have learned from watching me live out my mistakes on air, or who admire my tenacity or refusal to ever give up. Some have even quit drinking or using drugs due to my influence in public talks about the topic. I've gotten to promote causes and issues important to me. Plus, I've had so much fun along the way. Someone I used to know told me when I was really down in 2020 and wanting to quit this business that I simply could not, that this was my life's calling. I believe they were right. Even though I'm quite certain that they hate me now, I still love them. I love a lot of people who no longer love me, even though that is not my reputation. I don't think I would ever even tell you that unless it was a day like today. I want to thank Milo Yiannopoulos for giving me this gift and this curse. I want to thank Mr. Medicare for relentlessly promoting my writing during Gamergate and promoting my show, especially once I was released from jail. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, the first time I was ever on stream was actually at the invitation of his wife, Jade. And she introduced me as a journalist, pro Gamergate journalist. And I said, no. I'm a muckraker, not a journalist. So thank her as well. But once upon a time, also, Nick Fuentes and the Groypers meant a lot to the Killstream. Thank you for those times. Shout out to Destiny. The guy is a machine, and he added a lot to things over the years. I want to thank Adam Green for always being a friend to me, even now when it's not easy. Perspicacity, I'm eternally grateful to you for getting me to take this choice and for being a great friend. Thank you to Mark Collett, who somehow always still has time for me. I appreciate James Edwards so much as well. My fellow Memphian, he has been a great friend to me. Shout out to Wayne Lambright. I love you, brother. Lily Gaddis is a dragon, and she's been so kind to me. I believe she will be around for a long time. Dagalon and Jeremy McKenzie have been so awesome to me as well. His partner, Morgan, she's great. It was a pleasure to meet them 2 days ago. Worski, you fucking junkie bastard. I hope you really are sober. You don't want to be here. Gator, put the anime down. Rand, drink another one, you crazy fucker. Oh, and I mustn't forget to thank Dick Masterson and his partner, who I just yesterday spent hours torching. I don't even know what's real in this life or this business, but I know that it's nasty, brutish, and short. I've wasted too much time already. I will be, believe it or not, and I never thought I would make it this far, I will be 40 years old in September. I don't think I have a third act in me if I can't finally address some of the negative things I simply wrote into the persona. They basically told me that this morning, actually. By the way, if I left you off, don't feel bad. Shout out to Ryan Harkness, by the way. A lot of people. There's so many people. Do not feel bad, because it would take me an hour to thank all the people I've met and talked to over the years. Mersh, shout out to Mersh, or who have meant so much to me in this show. And it would take 2 hours to go through the people I want to take shots at. To the loves I've had in my life, thank you for the good times and for seeing something in me, even if you no longer do. Thank you to Faith Vickers for giving me my amazing son, Xander. I hope he looks back one day on my life and sees some of the good, and I'm working on that now. To the little football fan that I love, know that I will never, ever forget you or stop loving you. Thank you to my uncle for somehow always putting up with me. He's always been like that, always, throughout my whole entire life, and he and his wife are such blessings. I miss my grandparents so much. They were such huge influences on my life. My father, what a man he was. He was a genius, actually, but he was a cursed man. I inherited so many of my demons from him and witnessed so much violence, but I always knew that he loved me and my mother. He was just broken. Also got so many good things from him, like my love of history and politics. To my mama, I'm sorry that I was not a better son to you, but you know how much I loved you. You meant everything to me, and you still do. There is not a single hour that goes by that I don't think about you or want to speak to you. I'm looking at one of the last gifts you gave me, actually, right now. It's right over there across the room, still in the poster roll. And it's the lyrics to Leonard Skinner's Simple Man. I wish I'd listened to you more when you were still here. But I can't help but believe you're watching me now somehow and loving me from above. Adam Green, please let me have this one. Please, Adam, please let me have this one. I love you too, Adam. To the audience, thank you for your love and support. Without you, I would likely be dead. You have provided for me. You've added so much to the show itself, and many of you have become great friends of mine. I'm thinking of James Gardner and Mary Jane and Adelwolf and so many others, Nady Bakes, so many people. Guitar Anthony, so many people. Know that it will never be forgotten, even to the former fans who never come around any longer. I'm not only a huge fan of wrestling, but I love tabloid journalism. I was raised on it, actually. I remember my grandmother having a subscription to the National Enquirer, a Current Affair, Hard Copy, The Sun, The Post, News of the World, and everything else. I just drank it in like the bourbon that used to be my trademark. So I'm aware that there are plenty of people who will take pleasure in seeing me somewhat down and taking time away to go to rehab. No sympathy for the devil. Keep that in mind. Buy the ticket and take the ride, as it was written. Many people want to see me dead, quite frankly. I see it wished upon me almost daily. But, you know, there's a funny thing about the haters. Many of them actually love you. They are, in fact, your biggest fans and are what actually make you famous, or in my case, infamous. Some even secretly wish for you to end up turning it around somehow so that their story continues. Life is a soap opera, and I thank you for your service. It has truly been an honor and a privilege and a blessing to entertain you all for the last decade of my life. What started out as a hobby morphed into my entire being. I still am not quite sure how or why it all happened. It must have been fated somehow. Thank you all for everything, and know that I will be back. Nobody does it quite like the Ralphamale. I must bid you farewell at this moment, but it's not goodbye. It's just goodbye for now.